right, so this is still So You Want to Be an Inventor book, and this is part 2. If you want to be an inventor, keep your eyes open. On a 1914 trip to Labrador, fur trader Clarence Birdseye watched Eskimos freeze fish on the ice. When the fish thawed, they tasted fresh. Would fast-freezing food between two metal plates work as well? It did! All those frozen dinners, pizza, and other frozen yummies come to you by way of Clarence Birdseye. After a country walk with his dogs in 1948, Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral picked cottleburrs off his pants. Why, the cottleburr hooks gripped the wool loops in his pants. Hooks and loops! The perfect fasteners. George's invention? Velcro. An inventor has to be as stubborn as a bulldog. Yankee Charles Goodyear spent 10 years trying to make raw rubber usable. He spent all his money and was thrown into debtor's jail before he hit the jackpot in 1839 by treating raw rubber with sulfur under heat. Tires, tennis balls, and all sorts of other rubber goodies have been bouncing around ever since. Thomas Edison spent more than a year looking for a thin thread called a filament that would glow without burning up with electricity when electricity passed through it. He tried platinum, nickel, gold, silver, fish line, cotton thread, coconut hair, people hair, wood shavings, cork, and more. Carbonized bamboo was the answer. Edison's 1879 incandescent lamp, a lamp that stays lit, brightened lives forever. Lives everywhere. Don't worry if people laugh at you. Everyone mocked Robert Fulton's steamboat, calling it Fulton's Folly, and a floating sawmill caught on fire. But the laughter lost steam in 1807 when Robert's Clermont chugged up the Hudson River from New York to Albany with paddle wheels churning and flags waving. Newspapers laughed at Robert Goddard for trying to invent a space rocket. They called him Moon Man and a hoaxer. He was no hoaxer. Thanks to Moon Man, Robert Goddard's 1926 invention of a liquid fuel rocket, the spacecraft Apollo 11 landed Americans safely on the moon in 1969. Inventors aren't all men. Illinois homemaker Josephine Krockman figured other women were as fed up with washing dishes and red hands as she was. In 1886, she put together a wooden tub, wire basket, and hand pump to invent the very first dishwasher. Movie star Heidi Lamar said, Any girl can look glamorous. All you have to do is stand still and look stupid. Beautiful Heidi Lamar wasn't stupid. Just before World War II, she fled Austria and Hitler for the United States, where she and a friend invented a system for guiding torpedoes by radio signal. Her goal? Beat Hitler. Even presidents can be inventors. George Washington invented a 16-sided treading barn in 1792. Horses trampled over the wheat spread of the barn floor. The grain dropped through slots. Eureka! George Washington's wheat supply was dry, stored, and ready to be grounded into flour. Thomas Jefferson invented a two-faced clock. One face inside, it told the day, hour, minute, and second, and one face outside. Its Chinese gong could be heard 3 miles away. Jefferson wasn't called smart for nothing. The ropes holding the weights were so long that he cut holes in the floor to let the weights hang in the basement. Maybe you like to work alone. Alexander Graham Bell worked alone at night, every night, inventing the graphophone, an iron lung, kites to study flight, and, of course, the telephone. To take night from me is to rob me of life, he declared. Nikola Tesla was world famous for inventing the alternating current, or AC motor, in the 1880s to produce huge amounts of electricity that could be sent over long distances. But Nikola lived in lonely New York hotel rooms, had no family, few friends, and only worked for himself. Maybe you'd rather invent as part of a team. Thomas Edison forged a crew of inventors who huddled day and night over clanking, hissing motors, smelly chemicals, and machines that sent sparks flying. He and his crew came up with the incandescent lamp, the movie camera, the photograph, and more than 1,000 other inventions. One invention can lead to another. In the early 1900s, Henry Ford jumped from Michigan farm boy to king of the road. He didn't invent the automobile, but he did perfect mass production in the moving assembly line that had workers slapping his Model T Ford cars together in a hurry. Other inventors hopped on board. Mary Anderson invented the windshield wipers. Swish, swish. Garrett Morgan came up with the traffic lights. Red, stop. Yellow, slow. Green, go. Elmer Wavering invented car radios. A little music, please. More cars, more accidents. Alan Breed's airbags saved lives. Whoosh! Wouldn't Henry Ford be amazed at what he had started? Sometimes an inventor creates more problems than it solves. In 1793, Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin that cleaned cotton 50 times faster than workers cleaning by hand. Wire spikes pulled cotton through slots too narrow for the seeds. But more and more slaves were needing to grow more and more cotton. Eli Whitney's cotton gin sowed the seeds of the Civil War. Alright, now that you have finished listening to part 2, please go back to your choice board and answer the couple of questions for this part and upload it to either Seesaw or Class Dojo depending on which one your class is using.